Yeah, 1 2 1 2. Hopefully, I'm sounding good to you. What's going on, everybody out there? Mr. Sandman signing back in real quick on another edition of the Roundtable up in here. Definitely miss you guys. Been through you know, taking care of a couple of things here and there. As you can see on my thumbnail, my mixtape is out. Or it's coming out very, very soon. Like, I mean, very, very soon. We're working on that. I dropped the video for those out there that care. You can actually see the video on this channel called The Human Hand Grenade. Make sure you check that out. I've just been, busy doing that. Busy with just with a lot of things. Just keep myself occupied, and it's just a great feeling that I'm having. I feel great. I feel elated. You know, have some complaints here and there, but nothing too crazy. I love life. I feel blessed. You know what I'm saying? Definitely feel blessed. And, for those out there, just, follow your dreams, man. Who cares who don't like what you're doing? As long as you're not hurting nobody, go follow your dreams, man. You're not going to get famous overnight. You're not going to get rich overnight. Just keep grinding. If that's what you love to do, keep grinding. You know, it could be whatever. You could make burgers. People won't like your burgers at first, but if you keep doing it, you'll get better, and eventually people will like your burgers as long as you're not poisoning them and shit. You know what I'm saying? Sports, music, whatever. Just like with this, just like with me doing my podcast, what may have you. Yeah, I mean, I have thousands and thousands of people coming through in the chat or whatever, but I still love to chop it up with you guys. I love chopping it up with my comrades within the round table, and we're growing. We're definitely growing. New people is coming through, wanting to give their input, and I appreciate every little knick-knack that comes my way. Brick by brick, you build a building. A building just doesn't get handed to you like, yeah, pow, a whole damn building. No, you go brick by brick. So the more you work, the more bricks you lay. But anyways, like I said, thanks for joining the kid. As y'all see in the title, this dude Ric Flair on his last match campaign, like he's really doing this. He's really doing it. Oh man, my dude Ric Flair. Now, I definitely had some choice words for Ric Flair in the past. Of him doing questionable things, like when it comes to the alleged, um, sexual stuff and the racism. But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I'm not at least a little intrigued about this whole last match. This whole last match storyline that he's going through, the docu series and all this other extra stuff, and especially it's going to be a tag team match now. It's going to be um, Flair is going to be with Andrade El Idolo against Jeff Jarrett and my boy Jay Lethal. Um, I was trying to watch when he got jumped in the parking lot. I was trying to watch that. Matter of fact, I did watch it. I was trying to hear what the hell he was saying. You know what I'm saying? Because if you see the video, it just shows them, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett beating up Flair. And that had me wondering, like, okay, where the hell's El Idolo? Like I don't know where they was at. Maybe they caught Ric Flair slipping, and they ran up on him and put the beats on him in the parking lot. And I'm sitting here thinking like, yo, Flair, you are too old for this, yo. What are you doing? You still out there blading and stuff in your mid-70s or early 70s, what may have you. You still out there blading. You still out there taking punches to the head. I ain't gonna lie, I'm just glad that it's a tag team match, not a one-on-one match. I didn't know he was gonna go against Jarrett though. I thought he was gonna go against either Hogan or Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I don't know what happened with that. But, I'm a little intrigued. Will I watch the actual match live or whatever? Probably not. Because I don't have Fight TV, and Fight TV pay-per-views, if I'm not mistaken, they only play this shit once. And that's just so dumb. I'm like, man, look, if I order a damn pay-per-view, it should be playing all the damn time. It's like, I remember old school pay-per-views, WWF, or even WCW, if I could remember. If you order the pay-per-view, it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on all night. No questions asked. The encore presentation, all that shit. Matter of fact, it will be on. It will be on. What you gonna call it? All week. Sometimes I remember it'll be on all week. Well, let me drop that link just in case, people want to pull through and say what's goody. There go the link right there. Anybody want to talk about the old fashioned wrestling? Let me know what's happening. But yeah, man, I remember that shit, man. Like, look, fuck. And you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I could DVR it, not DVR it. What's the name of that shit? DVR, yeah, it's DVR. Maybe I could do that. I don't know. Probably not. Does Fight TV have a streaming service like that where you could just when you pay for the pay-per-view, you could basically download the stream and put it in your history, just like how like with Sling. See, like I got Sling, and excuse me, I got Sling, and Sling, I get the DVR stuff. Like I only really got Sling for AEW Dynamite, and you know what I'm saying. So and it gets it DVRs that shit. I gotta do some catching up on that shit too. I see this dude Eddie Kingston about to go at it with this dude Jericho again. Like, see, I'm loving this story. A lot of people may not love the story like that much. They will say like, oh, because Eddie Kingston is fat and stuff like that. And it's like, man, look, yeah, he may be fat, what may have you, but so was Mick Foley. And people love Mick Foley. And I think Eddie Kingston is a better wrestler than this dude Mick Foley. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they're telling a hell of a story when it comes to Kingston and Jericho. You know, it's basically the work rate versus the superstars, the entertainers, the sports entertainers. Eddie Kingston leading the charge with the work rate wrestlers, and Jericho leading the charge for the sports entertainers. I do wish they were like magnified a little more, basically tell their story a little bit more better. You know, have them really phone home the fact that, yeah, I'm a sports entertainer, and you work rate wrestlers that don't sell anything, and yada yada yada. You guys are the ones that's ruining the business. You know what I mean? Do something like that. Really, really phone home. Really phone home that idea of the superstar versus the work rate wrestler. Word. And this dude Tove, shots got out to Tove. He has sent me this dude Kevin Nash thoughts on why these dudes don't get heat. Like, when it comes to shows, like, why they don't get no heat? Why? And he just said, like, a lot of people just don't sell anymore. And not only that, these wrestlers look like average Joes. Matter of fact, worse than average Joes. They look like teenagers. And he does have a point with that. Like, don't get me wrong, I like that fast paced shit too, but not the whole card. Mix it up a little bit. Not everything on the card should be fast paced, and a dude get caught with a power bomb, then pick him up, catch him with a neck breaker, then pick him up again, then catch him with chin music, then pick him up again, then catch him with another crazy move. It's cool when it's not done to death. You know what I'm saying? Or when you got dudes like Sammy Guevara jumping up the Empire State Building on Rampage. And it's like, okay, when you do the spot, when it really matters, people won't even care because you did that spot so damn much already. You know what I'm saying? It's like, people got to know how to, take their time and savor certain moments. I definitely agree with Nash when it comes to that. I really do. Like, all right, for instance, right? Like with the champions. Um all champions should be treated a certain type of way. Special. Like, look at let's make one thing perfectly clear. If the mid-card belt don't mean shit, the heavyweight belt is not going to mean shit. Because if we get treated like a fucking punk as a mid-card champion, how you think the heavyweight title is going to look? You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you're going to have to get towards that plateau when it comes to, being heavyweight champion. Instead of looking like a champion, you look like a chumpion. Oh,
Yo, what's good?
what's going on? What's going on? How you feeling?
Long day. I'm just kind of tired, really. I'm good, though.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, I was I see that That Kevin Nash over here that you sent me, I was just touching on that topic about this dude Nash with the whole why basically most wrestling or sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, isn't picking up any heat nowadays.
Yeah, he just started his own podcast. I gave it a listen. He talked about that, and then he talked about exactly what happened with Scotty. Those last
Yeah,
days.
yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
I've
know he
always,
was
I've
a
always,
podcast either.
yeah, I've always liked Nash. He's cool. He always has like a different perspective. His story never changes too. A lot of wrestling legends will they'll say something in 2004, then like they'll say something different in like 2010. Him and Brett are pretty consistent. I like his stories, and he always has wine with him. Funny guy. So
Well, I don't know what I don't know about Brett because when it comes to Goldberg, 1 minute Goldberg is a good guy, the next minute Goldberg don't know what he's doing, and he always switches up his opinion when it comes to Goldberg. But that's neither here nor there.
yeah,
And I didn't know he had a podcast either. I'm like, damn, everybody got a fucking podcast.
yeah. I think he just started his very new. So
Yeah, because I remember Six, he got a podcast. I forgot what the name of his was. His podcast is actually decent too.
hmm
Just do X Pac.
yeah, I remember the old days when it was just Cabana, and everybody was like, "What's a podcast?"
Yeah.
Nobody knew.
The funny thing is that, like, I guess you could say the dude that really was like the pioneer, the proprietor of this was Zack Ryder. If you could, like, to be truthful, Zack Ryder was like one of the first ones.
Yeah, pretty much. The pioneers, in my opinion, no particular order. Cabana, Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, Matt Hardy, and the Young
Right.
Bucks. All four of them, they saw where it was going because I didn't even know this until later years. I didn't know that Matt had his own website, and so when the Edge Lita stuff happened, he was posting stuff on his website, and that was how he got
Yeah.
over because people were chanting "You screwed Matt, you screwed Matt." That came from his website, so he literally got his job back because of that. And then, you mentioned Ryder. The funny one to this day, one of the funniest skits I've seen. I remember exactly where I was too. I was in the library. It was after one of my algebra classes, and he
Right.
was doing this. He was doing this skit on Long Island Ice, whatever it was called, IZ, I believe. And
Yeah, Long Island IZ.
yeah, and he was climbing a fence, and then John Morrison walked by and said, "What are you doing, Zach?" And he said, "I'm trying to get over, bro. I'm trying to get over." I was like, I laughed my ass off. I was like, "That's fucking funny." But yeah, he saw so because he used the internet to get himself over too, and then
Yeah, and
Cabana,
yeah,
and then Cabana was really the first wrestling podcast guy because it was him, and then Stone Cold did it, and then Jericho did it, and then after that it was just like dominoes, and then the Bucks, they're the ones that really started all this shit. Like before AEW, before New Japan, it was being the elite, and they started this blog culture of like you're traveling from city to city, do a blog. We're gonna go to Mexico, do a blog. We're gonna go to Japan, do a blog. We're gonna go to New
right.
York, do a blog. Now every wrestler, well, not every wrestler, but a good portion of wrestlers now have like their own YouTube, their own Instagram, their own Twitter, where they're just blogging whatever they're doing, and it all goes back to the Bucks. So, you know,
I do agree because I remember those early Bullet Club vids, and like this dude Cody Rhodes was basically like the spokesperson, so to speak.
mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
those are yeah.
What
And
got
then
me,
they
what
start,
got me on them was you can actually find this video on YouTube. This was like the very beginning. There's this video on YouTube where it's Prince Devitt, that's Finn Balor. It's Balor, Gallows, Anderson, uh, Fale, Tamatunga, and the Young Bucks, and they're like at this restaurant in Japan, And this thing that the fans would do after the show is some of the fans would volunteer to be like slapped, like in the chest, because they want to see what it felt like to, get a knife edge chop. And so like the fans are in line taking turns getting like knife edge chops, and all the wrestlers, they're like buzzed, they're all drinking. So every time a fan gets slapped, they're just laughing their ass off. And I was like, this
Right.
is fucking hilarious. Then there's another one of this one's fucking funny. It was this was years ago. It was Tanahashi, Nakamura, Jushin Thunder Liger, Suzuki, Okada, and I think Kenny. And it was a prank where Yano would he would sneak into their hotel rooms while they were asleep and then pin them to see if they would kick out in their sleep.
What?
just really
So
dumb.
he had the 24/7 title or some shit.
Yeah. The joke was, because Tanahashi would always win, Okada would always win, and to see like they kicked out in their sleep, but just really simple stuff like that. I wish to me that was the stuff that like the WWE network back when it was a network anyway. They never had enough stuff like that. Like they never really like fully embraced it. Like if you come up
Hmm.
with all kinds of like crazy innovative ideas for content, people will watch. Like I thought the Edge and Christian show was funny. I thought that was good. What was the
Yeah,
other
well,
one they did?
I wonder why they stopped doing it. Because remember, they stopped doing it, and they were still retired. They just
Yeah,
stopped doing
yeah.
it.
Like that one was good. I think they had a show called Legends House. Kind of depressing
Yeah,
now
yeah,
because
I watched that also. It had Piper, Jimmy Hart. I think it
yeah,
had Brian Knobs on there too, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Tony Atlas.
it-
They was all. It was like
yeah,
it was a little bit like surreal life, but for wrestlers.
yeah. And then one of the best shows they did, it was like a one and done. I don't know if you remember this one. They had a show called Breaking Ground, where it was like Tough Enough, but like not really. Where it was like they showed
With
you
the
like
NXT dudes.
yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't seen it though. I know about it
yeah.
though. But I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was like they went behind like five NXT talents to show their journey, like how they got there, the struggles they were going through,
Yeah.
uh, like how they got better. Like the one I remember was like it was Apollo Crews. It was like when Apollo first showed up, and Triple H was talking to him, and he was like, "Yo, you got a good look. You can go in the ring, but like you don't really have a good finisher. Like, what's your finisher?" And he was trying to help him get a finisher, and then Nia Jax, they were talking to Nia, and they were like, and like when Nia first started, like she was a really bad promo. So it was like just showing her like just working on her promo, like just cool stuff. And then it showed
Mhm.
like Baron Corbin talking to Sami Zayn because they were like good friends in real life, which I didn't know. And then it showed the moment that Baron Corbin like was signed to WWE, and he was like backstage crying, and Sami Zayn like gave him a hug, and I was like, "Yo, this is really cool, like behind the scenes shit." And I
Raw
was I was here
emotion.
for it. Yeah. And then they it was like maybe 5 episodes they didn't do anymore, and it was like I think Vince never got that because like when you look at like Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, like you got to keep putting out content to keep people subscribed because when the network was a thing, I mean I don't know about you, Sam man, but most people I know they didn't really take advantage of the network. Most folks would just use it to watch whatever live show was happening, like whatever the pay per view was at the time.
Nah,
Not
I
that
used
many
to watch
people.
everything.
Right.
I used
Like
to
even
watch
if you don't like
everything
the product,
like before because I ain't gonna lie, I was one of them that was upset when the network first came around
mhm.
because I was used to WWE 24/7. That was my shit. I used to
Mhm.
love WWE 24/7, and I remember I forgot what they did that forced people to eventually get the network. And at first, that shit was trash. At first, it really was. And then like I guess like started improving. Eventually, and um, yeah, I used to watch a lot of shows on there. I used to watch like you said, the Legends House. I used to watch that. I used to watch the old school stuff, Smoky Mountain, old NWA stuff. I used to watch Table for Three, Table for Four. I used to love
Yeah,
watching that stuff. Yeah,
table for three. Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah, I
used to
don't.
watch
I
a
don't.
lot of content over there. The
Yeah,
old
I'll
school
be
breaking
honest.
rules.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I get Peacock for free, and I don't fuck with it. So I forget I have Peacock most of the time. Um, I haven't.
Nah,
I haven't.
they yo the network is it's not bad. It's not like so like if I leave it on autoplay and let it just rock out, I'll be entertained. Like you like it's crazy too because it'll have certain parts that's taken out and you won't
Yeah.
even notice it unless you're a real hardcore wrestling fan. Like for instance, I was watching like the old school Raw and shit when it was in they was like in the Manhattan Center or something, right? At first, right? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And they don't even have Ludwig Borger in that shit.
Yeah. They do a
They
lot
they
of
they
editing.
basically took out Ludwig Borger's whole WWF stint.
I haven't really messed with Peacock since like last year's Mania, and I haven't checked it, so I'll try it again. But when I tried it last time, I didn't like the layout for like how Peacock is. Like on the WWE Network, you could click on like Raw, SmackDown, and if you clicked on pay per views, it had like categories like okay WWE, WCW,
Yeah,
ECW, and so
yeah,
on
I
and
know what
so
you mean.
forth.
They put it back like that. Yeah, they put it
Yeah,
back like
yeah.
that. They put
I
it
was
layout.
trying to
Because I
I
remember,
was trying
yeah,
to find a
it
particular
was
Raw.
real cryptic. I remember you just talking about it. It was real cryptic. It was like, okay, what the fuck? How do I go here? How do I go there? I remember you
Yeah.
showing about when it first went to Peacock.
Yeah, I was trying to find a specific Raw from 2014. It was the Chicago Raw after CM Punk quit, where the show started and they played his music and everyone lost their shit because they thought Punk was coming out, but then Paul Heyman came out and cut the promo. Like that's not on YouTube. For what it's like, some segments are just not on YouTube for some reason because like the WWE just takes it down or just it's weird. So I wanted to find the promo, and when I went on Peacock, it was like I don't know if it makes sense. It was like I could get to Raw, but then you would have to pick the year, but it wasn't specific on what the episode was. So like you had to know exactly what year you were looking for. So if you want to watch, like,
Mm.
say, RVD and Kane versus the Road Warriors, you had to know, okay, so it was in 2003. So then you would click on it, and then it was like sometimes the episodes would load, and then sometimes like my channel would just freeze, and I would just have to exit. Just it wouldn't work. But it's been a while since I've tried it. Maybe it's working better now, like you said.
Yeah, it's yeah. I know what you're talking about. They made it more easier to find stuff now because I was having difficulty with that shit also. I'm like, man, look, why they made it to the point where it's difficult to find things because they were still fixing the bugs and I
Hmm.
remember from before around that time where it was like a glitchy mess. It will pause. It will stop. It will get stuck or the
Right.
stream would just shut off, and then you would have to reboot. You would have to reboot the whole damn shit to come back to it.
But yeah, that's the part. And a lot of people say Vince is out of touch, but most folks don't really give like examples for why. The streaming service is definitely an example of how he's out of touch because it's not just about wrestling. Like you can make shows about anything. Like I don't know if you checked out, like you may remember, they had a show and it's like in limbo now. It was called Icons, and the plan was they were going to do like an episode on different people related to WWE. Like they did an
Oh
episode
yeah,
about
I think I
Yokozuna.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was basically like their version of Dark Side of the Ring. Really, they did an episode on Yokozuna, and it was really good. And they
Mm.
were scheduled to do, and this was last year too, by the way. So this just shows you how long it's been. They had at the next episode that was scheduled was they were going to do one on Lex Luger, and they were going to cover the Lex Express, the narcissist gimmick. They were going to talk about how he had the handshake deal and how he screwed them over and how he left and went to WCW. They were going to talk about
Mm.
the Miss Elizabeth stuff. Like they were going to go over all of it, and the episode never aired. And then you may also remember WWE had a YouTube clip. Uh, they were going to do an episode. Now only OGs are going to remember this guy. They were going to do an episode on Vladimir, the super fan, the dude that was always in the front row in like the new generation shows. He's black. He's in Brooklyn. He kind of had like a Jufro kind of. I know you've seen him before. He's been like in
I,
the front row of like so many shows in like
I
96,
don't remember
97. Yeah.
Vladimir.
Yeah, that was his
See,
name,
all right,
Vladimir something.
I don't remember him because that's when I wasn't really watching WWF like that. Around that time, I definitely tuned out.
I'll tell you exactly an easy clip where you can find him. If you get time, check out Psycho Sid versus Shawn Michaels Survivor Series Madison Square Garden main event. When Sid won the title after he beat Shawn, he went outside and the first person that hugged him was Vladimir. He had these big glasses. He was a light skinned dude. I know you've seen him. He was all over
Yeah,
the. He's like the green shirt guy. You know the green shirt guy that's always in the front row now of the WWE. He was like
yeah,
that guy, but yeah,
yeah.
if they were gonna
I'm
do
gonna have to look at that because, like, right now, like me and my lady, we basically rewatching all the '90s stuff and like like so from the '90s to most recent. That's what we doing now. Right now, we up to year 97. Yeah, we up to year 97. As a matter of fact.
oh cool, that was a good year. But yeah, they were supposed to show that, and then for whatever reason they canned it. And as far as I know, they got footage filmed, but yeah, like what they need is they need to have some. Vince needs to get like a group of young people because I totally get it. An older person's not thinking about a streaming service and content for it, but they need to get a group of young folks together and just basically come up with ideas of let's do a show on this, let's do a show on that. Because if you
But
follow Netflix,
they probably do, but you know how stubborn this dude is. You know how much ideas done went through Vince, and he's just gonna stop it. Especially if he thinks it's a good idea,
yeah.
he's gonna put a bullet in it because it's not his idea. He don't want nobody to outshine him. You know that.
Well, that's why they weren't able to get more subscribers for the WWE Network. I forgot the exact number. I think they were like stuck at a certain number. I think it was like somewhere between 2.5 and 3.1 or something like that. Like it's a respectable
Yeah,
number, but compared to
it
like
was a period of time. It was a period of time where, as a matter of fact, that's what happened. Because people were still subbed to WWE on demand.
yeah,
And they was telling people like, look, we about to shut this down. It's like you're gonna have to get the network now. And that I felt salty about that. I'm like, how y'all gonna force people to, that's what and I know that rubbed other people the wrong way also because we was, accustomed to WWE on demand and they just force, we force the people to get something new instead of people, getting it organically.
yep, yep. But yeah, you got to have content ideas. That's why. I mean, for better or worse, that's why. Like, if you check out the library of like, I know Netflix isn't doing that well, but you know, but Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus. There's so many stuff now, but they're
Right.
always putting out stuff. There's always putting out content. Like to me, I think. I mean, I appreciate the fact that Xavier's up, down is YouTube. Like that's cool. I'm shocked they haven't made that like a Peacock exclusive, just because
I'm
you
shocked
know.
that he don't even get paid over that shit. He probably getting paid now because I guess he went on like a somewhat of a strike because he
Yeah,
says he was
yeah,
gonna stop doing it because he wasn't getting paid. I'm like, yo, my dude, you've been doing up, down all this time, and you wasn't even getting paid. He was saying he was doing it for the love of the video games. Fuck that shit.
yeah. That was when I remember too. I remember like when the like right before AEW was a thing when Kenny and the Bucks and all those guys when their contract was running out and everyone was like, oh my god, they're gonna go, because late 2018. Everybody was like, are they going to go to WWE or are they not going to go to WWE? And I remember NXT was still
Yeah,
hot back then. And I was laughing. I was like, bro, the Bucks and Kenny are not going to WWE. And to this day, there's still people who are like, well, you never know. They could go. Like, and I said, no, they're not going to go to WWE for one reason. And I said, it's not about money. They're not going to go because BTE is their baby. And if they go to WWE, Vince is going to kill that shit straight up.
yeah.
Because Long Island IZ that was Ryder's thing, and then
Look what they
WWE
did with
saw this.
that.
Yeah, they axed that and they took that shit over, and then Xavier admitted that he wasn't getting paid. So if the Bucks and Kenny went to WWE, they would take BTE. And they've been doing BTE for years. I think they've been doing it like since 2015. That's like
Yeah.
a lot of content. All that's going to be gone. Like they're not giving that up. Nobody would. So that was when I knew Adam Cole was gone. I knew Cole was gone too because everybody was like, "Oh, what's Cole going to do?" And I was like, "Cole's gone," because they're like, "Oh, we don't want WWE superstars to have Twitch accounts." He takes that shit very
Especially
seriously.
when they was talking about making him Keith Lee's manager and changing his name. This dude was like, "Nah, I'm good." Like, come
Much.
on.
I knew he was gone, and I knew Mia Yim was gone too, even though they weren't using Mia. I knew she was gone because Mia was uploading regularly on YouTube and Twitch, and I was like, yeah, like she's gone.
Yeah, you know
I don't know.
they thought about them making that outside cash when it came to Twitch.
Yeah,
Like
but that's
this
cool though.
dude, he just ain't shit, man. Like, remember he did that SmackDown, no pun intended, during the pandemic. Well, during when the pandemic first came around. Remember when they wasn't going out doing those shows, like they wasn't like on tour, and that was like their main source of income because people's not buying shirts and nothing like that. They're not buying no merch. They're not on the road, so they finding solace in playing video games and getting paid for it. And here comes greedy ass Vince. Oh, we gotta shut that down too. That's not good business, pal. Fuck him. Fuck him. Like, I'm saying they still gotta eat. So you want to eat more than everybody all the time. That's why he's going through what he's going through right now. Fuck him.
Pretty much. Basically,
and don't try to leave America either. No offense, he might try to leave America. Nah, nigga, don't go nowhere.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Vince wants. He basically just wants WWE to be like he wants the wrestlers or the superstars to want WWE more than they want them. And for a long time, that's how it was. But one of the few positives about modern day wrestling is that now you're seeing more and more wrestlers where WWE needs them more than they need WWE, and he doesn't like that. So
yeah, because there's so much places to work now. You got AEW, you got Impact, you got MLW, you got HOG. You know what I'm saying? A plethora of places where people could work.
And then you got so many other wrestlers that just have other ways of making money. Like there's more. Like first it was just Rock, but and we're still like in the infancy of it. But there's more people now. Like you got Rock, you got Cena, you got Batista, you got Jericho with Fozzy. Sasha Banks was on The Mandalorian. There's more and more wrestlers doing other side gigs now. Where because when we were growing up, when we were growing up in the 90s, the 2000s. All they had was wrestling. Like if they got hurt, like they were fucked. They couldn't do anything else. But they got other jobs now, and that's actually pretty cool now. So I think it's cool that wrestlers got like YouTubes and Twitches and
I wouldn't really
and stuff.
say that. I wouldn't really say that for the most part because there was some wrestlers out there that was still getting into movies. Like of course Hogan. He was in he had his fair share of movies. You had Jesse Ventura. You had you had Terry Funk. He was in Roadhouse. It was wrestlers out there that was venturing off and doing stuff. You had King Kong Bundy and Married with Children.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah. I know what you mean though. Like it's more like they get more. I guess you could say it's more prominent now than from before.
Yeah.
But they different dab than from they different dab than from before and shit.
I remember when not long after Edge retired, I think he did a cameo in The Flash.
Oh yeah.
I remember. Yeah. I remember Carlito and Chavo were on Glow on Netflix. They were on Glow.
Chavo was
it? Yeah.
I don't think Carlito. I don't remember Chavo on there.
Yeah, Chavo was on there. I think Hernandez was on there too. Pretty sure he was.
Hernandez? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he was.
I don't know why that Glow was good.
What AEW needs to do is they need to fucking get some people on Cobra Kai. I don't know if you watch Cobra Kai because they've got an old dude to show up a few times. The dude that plays Kree Sensei. Kree, he comes out with Britt Baker every now and then because because she's got like the Cobra Kai thing. That's a
Right.
very popular show. I know Netflix
I'm
is
actually
doing
gonna
that.
I'm actually gonna ask that. I was wearing a Cobra Kai shirt in my video. Of course, I love
Right,
Cobra
right.
Kai.
Yeah, well, I know he's made like 2 or 3 appearances on Dynamite, and I know she's a big fan. And I know Netflix isn't doing that well, but Cobra Kai is still a very, very, very successful show. Uh, they
Yeah,
need to
man,
they need to
can't
get they
wait.
need to get some yeah they need to get some cameos on there. Because stuff
And
like
you
that's
right,
how you increase.
Britt Baker should be at least have like a couple, be in a couple of episodes. Not like prominent, not like a prominent
Right, right,
character, but just have her around because she did say that Sensei Kreese is her sensei. So
right, right, right. I
but
posted a link.
here's the thing though, like Kreese is supposed to be in jail. Remember how the season ended? He got put in jail. So I don't know
Yeah, yeah, I
how
remember.
more they will finagle that with Britt Baker, but I think they should have her up in there though.
Yeah, I sent a link earlier today. I'm not sure if you saw it. Was where Awesome Kong was talking about her experiences with Hogan and Bischoff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, and to anyone that hasn't seen that interview, it's pretty enlightening. Awesome Kong pretty much confirmed what fans said for years. She talked about when TNA signed Hogan and how Hogan went to New York, and I remember that it was like outside Madison Square Garden, and they had like a press conference, and it was a big signing, and they had cameras there, and they had TMZ there, and I remember this vividly. And Awesome Kong said, after that was over, like maybe 2 3 hours later, he was on Larry King Live and didn't mention TNA once. And I remember this vividly. I remember he used to make guest appearances on and I'm not a UFC guy, so I apologize if I'm confusing sports, but there was like this show Spike TV had, I think it was like Bellator or something like that, where they would have like guest commentary or whatever. And I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
Hogan was he was
Bellator and Bellator and UFC is two different brands.
Right, right, right. Well, Hogan, he would make appearances on there, and like he would never mention TNA, like not one time, and that was the main thing. Like Hogan and Bischoff did was that they didn't like we can sit here all day and talk about all the dumb booking decisions and all that shit, but at the end of the day, what's
Oh
most
yeah.
important is getting your shit out there, and Hogan never advertised them, like never,
You know
and
why? Because he
that
already
was really
got
what
the
killed him.
bag. Hogan already got the bag, so he could care less. He already got paid.
Pretty much. So he was milking that place. That was what really hurt TNA more than anything. Because I love a lot of people. Because a lot of Impact fans be like, "Oh, what does AEW have that Impact doesn't have?" Or what does AEW do that TNA didn't do? And it's like when you have discussions like this with wrestling fans, and I get it. Like when you talk wrestling, it's easy to just focus on like the actual wrestling. I get that,
Mhm.
but fans need to remember that it's a fucking business. It's a wrestling business. There's another side to it too. Like we can't just talk about the wrestling. We got to talk about the marketing, the
Yeah,
advertising, posters, commercials,
yeah,
social media, merchandise, and TNA just they never promoted themselves. I've never told this
yeah,
story
yo.
to you
Oh
before,
my
Fan Man.
God. I used to talk about this shit so much times on this very channel because I used to cover TNA back when Mr. Anderson was the damn champion. Like I used to be you losing my mind on saying that because TNA had a shitload of potential. It's just that they didn't take themselves seriously. That's what I ultimately think or thought. They just didn't take themselves seriously. And
I've never. Oh, you go ahead.
yeah, and I think that what was stuck what really fucked TNA up when he had Hogan when they announced Hogan that man that gave him some momentum. Like okay, cool, we got Hogan. Da 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 da. They definitely was gonna have eyes on the screen because Hogan was still a popular name at that time. And what they do, the very first thing they do, they get rid of the six sides and have Hogan disrespect their fans and tell them like, oh, this is the big leagues now and get out of here. Just insulting the fans. Like when they did that one thing right there, people started tuning out. They was like, nah. Because they knew about Hogan and Bischoff shit from in WCW. And it's like, damn, these dudes didn't even waste any time to start their fuck shit. And that turned a lot of people off.
Yeah, pretty much. I've never told this story before on your show. I've told it on Nate's show,
Yeah, we
and
need that. Like you told me we love.
yeah, I already sent him the message. I guess he's busy or something because he
Yeah.
hasn't seen anything. But um, one of the craziest things I've ever seen, and this really happened because I've told this to other people before, and people think I'm just like trolling them. Like, no, you can look it up on YouTube. Uh, so I'll provide a little personal life stuff. Things are doing much better now. Uh, Back then, not long after the Hogan Bischoff stuff happened, uh, things were going pretty bad for my mom. She was having some health issues, and she had to have emergency open heart surgery, and things
Mm-hmm.
were touch and go for a while. So after the surgery, she was in rehabilitation, and like when you're in the hospital and like you're well to the point where like the worst is gone, but like you're not well enough to the point where they can clear you to go back home. And so they kind of give you the reach around where it's like, oh, well, you're going to stay, but they're not going to tell you exactly how long. So it's just kind of like, okay, whatever. So they moved it to a room, and I was still a student at this point. And I'll never forget, it was a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday, not, like I think Price is Right had just gone off. So it was like 12:15, 12:20 ish, and in the afternoon, I'm sitting there on my computer doing my homework. And
Yeah.
remember, this is the hospital. Hospital's got basic cable, so it's just got ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
she's flipping channels, and as she's flipping channels, my mom says, "Honey, isn't that wrestling show you watch?" So I'm not paying attention to her, and I'm like, "Oh no, ma, it's Tuesday. There's no wrestling that comes on Tuesday." And she's
Right.
like, "No, honey, look." I look up and I see fucking Velvet Sky and Jay Lethal on fucking Family Feud. And I'm like, holy shit, what? And it was like the
Mm.
whole
I,
episode was
I
a
remember
TNA
that.
episode. Yeah, and it's still on YouTube. It was like a TNA episode where it was like the knockout division was there and it
Yeah,
was supposed
against
to be
the X
knockouts.
division or something
Yeah,
like
the
that.
X division. Right. And I was like, bro, and we all have like that. We all have this. We all have like that first post we did on social media, whether it was Facebook, MySpace, Twitter. We all have that first post where we posted it and like our post blew up and you discovered like this community of other fans. I was
Mm.
part of this group. I'm sure you've heard of it before. It was called a Wrestling Roundtable. You heard of them, right? The original group. And I was
No,
part of
actually,
that group. Yeah, the Wrestling Roundtable. They were basically like the OGs of the IWC, YWC. The Wrestling Roundtable was a group of guys. They were like basically the first group of internet wrestling fans to essentially do a podcast. Essentially, this was like the mid 2000s, like 05, 06, 07, and so on and so forth. So I was part of this group, and then I
yeah.
went in this group, and I said, "Yo, did anybody know that TNA was on Family Feud?" And my post blew up and it had like over like 500 comments, which was a lot by
Yeah, around
TNT
that
fans
time,
or
yeah, that's a
whatever.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot. And I remember like fucking even though I can't stand his guts, I remember fucking Jim Cornette was going off back then because he was like, the big four of game shows in America is Price is Right, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, and Family Feud. So when you got your guys on a
The
a
hell
big
you doing,
TV
Scott?
show.
I ain't gonna cut you off, so
Oh, it's cool.
go ahead, so go ahead.
Basically, like when you got your guys on a big game show, you want to advertise and market that shit. Say what you will about WWE, but WWE they market themselves. If fucking Austin Theory is gonna, even though Theory's fucking ass, but if he shows up at the Kids Choice Awards, he's gonna have that Money in the Bank briefcase with them because that's promoting their brand. Like if a WWE superstar shows up like at Sports Center or a basketball game or a movie or a TV show or whatever, they're going to promote their brand. And like TNA, they just didn't do that. They
Exactly.
never did.
Well,
So
look how WWE is now with their superstars and how they market it, and look how AEW is. AEW is so ghetto. Like, I wish you guys would follow two wrestlers, Bianca Belair on Instagram
I follow her. And
Okay.
her husband.
And then you follow Jade Cargill. Two different. Because I get it. WWE is more kid friendly, but even at events. So check this out. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair both showed up at a NASCAR race.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Jade Cargill looked like she was heading to a damn strip club. And then Bianca Belair showed up, and she ain't about to disrespect her husband, and she's not about to put a bad image on WWE because we know WWE got a bad image already. But
Right.
it was just two different pairs, and I'm just like, wow. You look at how AEW carries themselves, and then you see how WWE carries himself. Like WWE actually act like
I didn't see how she was dressed though. Hold on, I'm gonna see how she. Let me see if I can find it. I seen how Bianca Belair was dressed. I didn't see how Jade Cargill was dressed.
Well, it goes both ways in that regard. It's positives and it's negatives. You know,
Like-
WWE is more PG, but in some ways, being PG kind of fucks them because when Christian comes out and cuts a promo, he cuts a heel promo. When Edge comes out, he's basically reciting lyrics from a fucking Shakespeare play and it didn't work. So it goes both ways, you know what I'm saying?
You don't like his Shakespearean style?
Clearly Vince didn't because they killed it off. If it was working, he would still be doing it.
So for what Vince wanted to do the goofy supernatural crap, and Edge was like, we don't need to do that shit.
Right, it wasn't working. So, but yeah, there's pros and cons. There's advantages that WWE gets for being PG, and then there's advantages that AEW gets for not being PG. Speaking of that, what do you think about that, Sam, man? Because we haven't talked about that.
They're supposed to switch to 14. I don't know when, but it's supposed to.
Yeah, this dude, what's his name? Jarrett, Andrew Jarrett. He dropped the ball on that. You know, was he lying? I don't know if he was lying. Well, he was lying on the fact that, he was misinformed on the fact that they were supposed to go to TV 14 at the drop of a hat. This yesterday. This was TV 14, but as we could all see, that didn't happen. And you know, I was gonna do a show. I was gonna do a show about that on Friday, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait it out or whatever. And I'm glad I did because coming from Rick Flair, you know what I'm saying, he was either misinformed or he was capping. And I was gonna say, basically, he had to been like, because ain't no way they're gonna just go to TV 14 just like that, just like the drop of a hat. We're in TV 14 now. That's something you have to basically, you know, go into slowly.
Yeah, they're not gonna go that quick. But at the same time, JD's a mark. I think he's on AEW's payroll because he showed up like a freaking cheerleader at that horrible Forbidden Door pay-per-view.
Yeah,
and he's sitting there like he's a real person.
I wouldn't say it was horrible.
Forbidden Door was not horrible. That was pay-per-view of the year.
I wouldn't say it was horrible, but JD be doing the most.
Not pay-per-view of the year.
When it comes to
there
AEW,
was no pay-per-view this year that had better matches than that show. Don't say the show was horrible if you didn't watch.
Full Gear.
Oh, come on, guys.
If we're talking in ring, Forbidden Door is pay-per-view of the year. Period. In ring.
God, did you watch Forbidden Door?
Yeah, I watched it, and I'm sorry. I don't like that bull. I don't want to curse, but I don't like that bullshit backyard shit that John Moxley does. I see why Vince got rid of him in the WWE. I see why Vince McMahon censored him. John Moxley cannot wrestle unless he got to bleed. He got to jump through a burning. He got to jump through some glass. He got to jump. He got to do a 50-foot dive.
That's not true, bro.
That's the $6 million man you're talking about.
Not the hell with the $6 million man. Brock Lesnar got 25 million, and all he do is damn suplex.
Oh, come on, that's fucking Brock Lesnar. Who's gonna compare to him?
I'm just saying, Moxley ain't no top tier
he's
wrestler
everywhere. Like you can see Brock Lesnar at the
bro.
You know that's Brock.
Moxley was the weakest one out of all the group.
No, you got the wrong idea, Scotty. That's Hulk Hogan syndrome. That's what that is. No. That's Hogan syndrome. Hogan did what worked for the market. When Hogan went to Japan, he did wrestle. In America, he didn't have to wrestle. All he had to do was get his ass kicked, big boot, Hulk up, leg drop. That was it. So
I can't wrestle, bro.
That's what wrestlers do. Wrestlers do what works.
Was talking about until I seen that shit for myself. When I seen this dude Hogan fight the Great Muta, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? It's like a completely different person.
That's what wrestlers do. Wrestlers do what works for the market. When Mox left WWE before he went to AEW, he actually went to New Japan first, and he had a good run. He had a lot of good wrestling matches over there that had no blood at all. He had good matches against Naito, good matches against Suzuki, good matches against Kushida. He just had straight up wrestling matches.
Yeah, and he came to AEW. And why he doing that dumb shit in AEW?
Because that's the market. That's what that market wants. But if he went to another market, he'd do something else. That's what wrestlers do. They do what works for the market. Period.
He's hot garbage. Everything about him is hot garbage. That stupid.
Hey man, everything about Roman's hot. Everything about Roman's hot garbage, but he's the top guy. So what are you supposed to do?
Roman ain't top garbage.
Roman is shit, bro. Roman ain't been shit since like 2018. He ain't nothing.
Roman ain't trash. The people around
Name one thing Roman did that stood out to you in the past year. Not a damn thing. Because the same promo every week, same match every time. He's not even on the fucking show.
That's a damn lie. Him and Cesaro had a 5-star match.
Him and Cesaro, Roman and Cesaro had a 5-star match a year ago, bro. A year ago.
What 5-star match Moxley did?
2 straight years. Of course he's going to fall back.
Roman ain't been doing nothing, bro.
Moxley
actually, most of the top talent,
champion.
Most top talents in WWE don't do anything. Actually, when you think about it, Brock just does suplexes. Roman just does Superman punches.
I know you ain't talking. You're okay with Orange Cassidy and them stupid fake kicks?
Hey, Orange Cassidy can at least work.
Oh my gosh, shut the hell up. The dude can't even talk.
Bro, I would watch Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay over anything Roman's done in like 2 years.
You need to really know what the definition of work. Work does not mean, I can do a few somersault and flips and dive into the chip.
Did you actually watch Cassidy versus Wardlow? They were actually telling a story. He was working on Wardlow's leg. He was throwing him into ring posts. He actually adds psychology in his matches. Roman doesn't do that.
You're worse
he doesn't
than
do
JD,
that.
Bro.
Well, I would say Orange Cassidy, he can wrestle. Like, you don't think Orange Cassidy knows how to wrestle, Scott?
No.
No, I think he could. He does. I know he does that nonchalant shit at first, but when the match gets heated, he could go. I'll definitely could say that he could go.
You do realize there's more to wrestling than going 100 miles an hour.
And you do realize there's more to wrestling than a Superman punch, because that's all Roman does. It's boring as fuck.
I really can't believe you support that bullshit in AEW.
There's nothing to support, man. I mean, I'm not talking about AEW. I'm talking about Roman. I'm talking about how boring he is.
So you don't like nothing from AEW?
Orange Cassidy ain't exciting.
Notice how he just keeps skipping over Roman. See, he's boring.
Roman's not boring. Roman's not boring. I'm sorry. You do. I need to ask you, what year was you born?
I was born in 1987. I grew up watching the 90s.
I was born in 1981. So when I look at wrestling completely different. The psychology of wrestling was different. Like Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Bro, we grew up watching the same stuff.
Yeah, we both the 80s babies.
I grew up watching Mr. Perfect, Piper, Brett, Shawn Michaels, Honky Tonk Man, Warrior, Flair, Hogan, Harlem Heat, the Steiner Brothers. We grew up watching the same guys.
So how can you sit here and say that today's wrestlers are talented?
I never said today's wrestlers were talented. The only thing I said is that Roman's boring. That's all I said. You're putting words in my mouth. I said Roman Reigns is boring. That's all I ever said.
Orange Cassidy. I can't take him serious.
Hey, I'm more entertained by Orange Cassidy than I am Roman. That's all I gotta say.
That's a good question.
I bet you like Sonny Kiss as a performer too.
Well, I do know Sonny personally, so that would be biased on my part. So,
Sonny who? Sonny?
You know,
Sonny Kiss.
Oh, Sonny Kiss. Oh, I heard that he was mad at his booking. He was mad at Tony Khan for the whole for him, I guess, not being booked. And I ain't gonna lie, I know, Scott, you may disagree, or Toby, you may disagree also. I don't know. Well, maybe you will, because you say you know him, Sonny. I think that was a missed opportunity. Like, if you're gonna hire Sonny, you might as well go all the way with it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? Hell with that. We're gonna push that line or whatever, and like we're gonna make this. You know, we not basically when it comes to homophobe, so to speak. We give everybody equal opportunities. As long as you can work, as long as you can do what you gotta do, you know, and nothing too crazy, because you know how they'll try to push the envelope and all that stuff. And speaking of that,
I think that
hold on, I got you. So, okay. And speaking of that, now Sonny Kiss being down with the baddies, no, and not because Sonny Kiss is what he is. Is because I don't think the baddies need anybody else. 3 women, that's it. That's all they need.
I think they're just trying to be too over the top. But as wrestling, nah. I can't even say how do I identify Sonny Kiss, man?
Well, most people identify Sonny with the feminine pronoun, so but whatever makes you comfortable.
I'm just gonna say Sonny Kiss.
He's real at Sonny Kiss. I don't know how Sonny Kiss want to be labeled as whatever. I just call Sonny by name.
Yeah,
I think
that's the easiest one.
Athletic. You know, I think Sonny Kiss is athletic, but when it comes to
wrestling,
I just don't think Sonny Kiss is much of a wrestler.
It's not. That match with Cody Rhodes was terrible.
I think that the big disconnect for me for WWE is that the past, like I'd say, the past like 5 years or so, the majority of top stars in WWE is like they look good, but there's not much else there. Like they have a look, but when the bell rings, it's like I don't care. Like Austin Theory's got a great look, but I could not give 2 shits when the bell rings. Jinder Mahal has a great look. I don't care. He was boring. Baron Corbin has a great look. Again, boring. Roman Reigns, great look.
Speaking of good look, a great look. Pause. Yo, what are they doing with Van Mahan? Yo, they have something special with Van Mahan. Now he
hasn't been on TV lately.
He's another one. Great hair, great body, tall.
What the hell happened to him? He hasn't been on TV lately.
Oh, he was on TV last night. Acting a damn fool.
Wait a minute. Van Mahan, that's the one that been whooping up on the Mysterios, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him.
Oh,
they messed up with him.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, what happened now?
Oh, fuck.
You didn't add the salt to the French fries? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Come on.
Does the Yankees choke again?
He can't rep the Yankees. He's Kansas City now. Yeah. Me and Art, you know how I feel about him. He moved to Kansas City and now he a Chiefs fan.
That's right.
No, bro. Stop. Stop.
My bad. What y'all was saying now? Because my dad.
He was talking about Veer.
Yeah, like man. See, remember I was telling you from before. So Like I was like, yo, they should have had Veer as a babyface, monster, because that's what they're lacking right now. You know, they need that, and they could have built him up to possibly go against a big card champion at that time. Like, you know, they had a,
that's why I say Vince is. That's why I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm legitimately questioning if Vince is going senile, because it's getting to a point now where he's signing these people where on paper they have everything you could possibly want, and then Vince finds a way to fuck it up. Like Killer Cross, Karrion Cross looks like he just looks like everything you would want a monster heel to be. And then there he is fucking losing to Jeff Hardy in 3 minutes, and where's he now? They're both gone. And then the one that really confuses me, and some people try to use the age argument. I'm really confused. Like, SmackDown is just not good. SmackDown is the worst show on television weekly. And, you know, don't at me on that. SmackDown is not good. SmackDown is in desperate need of a baby face. It's very heel infested. You don't got any baby faces. And here's LA Knight on NXT 2.0, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And like, this dude's got everything. He's got the charisma. He's got the look. He's got the in-ring skill. This dude's got everything. He's the full package. And then some people say, oh, but he's old. So is Lashley. And Lashley's a fucking beast.
I hate when they're saying that dumb shit. Oh,
I didn't know. I didn't know Lashley was 45.
Flair's about to have his last match at the age fucking 85.
Leave Undertaker alone, man.
People keep going on the age thing, but people need to understand, like, it's not the 80s and the 90s anymore. Like, these guys, they're not doing drugs and partying every night like how it was back then.
Right.
So as long as people stay in good shape, like, you can be 50, 60 and still go. You know, Lashley is 46.
Stupid narrative. But he'll get Goldberg. He'll drop a big ass back in front of Goldberg's doorstep, though. Get the fuck out of here.
Lashley, you wouldn't know Lashley was 46 if you didn't look it up. Dude looks like he's still in his 20s. Looks great. You know, and LA Knight, to me, he's got everything. And it's like, no, we're not going to make him a babyface. We're not even going to make him a heel. We're going to make him a manager of fucking models. Get the fuck out of here.
Models. 2 bums at that. You're going to make him a manager of 2 bums.
He gives them bad characters. And the problem is that these people get bad booking and they get bad characters. And then when it flops, when it doesn't work, then Vince is like, oh, it's their fault. And then they get fired. And that's how Keith Lee and Karrion Cross and all these other people get fired. And it's like, this is stupid.
You know what it is? I said this from before in the council on Facebook. You know what it really is? Vince don't have, like, you know, those motherfuckers like a Pat Patty and other motherfuckers like a Russo, even Russo, to get those real good ideas from, and they can all come together, and Jim Ross, where they can all come together and really come up with some real good ideas and bounce ideas off of each other. All Vince got around him is yes man. Let's really be real. Vince really wasn't all that creative to begin with, and it's really starting on the show. It's really starting the show now. That's the bottom fucking line. Yeah,
honestly,
you may be that also. But
I think WWE's downfall was the moment they went public. He can't be himself.
Yeah, because they basically they couldn't get too raunchy and stuff because they will chase off the sponsors.
Yeah, that's what really kills it. He gotta satisfy these people that don't even care about wrestling. All they care about is the market and how much money they're gonna make. So
on the, are you going?
So with that being said, they don't really know how to make no stars in. They can't do John Cena again because John Cena is once in a lifetime talent and a gimmick that they can never remodel again. You can't do The Undertaker no more. You can't do Stone Cold Steve Austin no more. And honestly, Vince don't want to be outshined by Triple H or everybody else, so that's why he gets rid of everybody.
But that goes back to what I was saying from before, though, Scott. Like when it comes to your Hogans and your Stone Colds, and you know, those great heroes that we grew up with. He had motherfuckers in his corner that knew what the fuck they was talking about. So like a Briscoe to a Pat Patty to Arn Anderson, whoever. You had them in his head. You had all these great minds, these great wrestling minds in Vince's head. And he had no choice but to buckle down and be like, you know what, I had no choice but to take an idea here and there. He may have dumped some ideas, but he had no choice but to take a lot of them because, you know, most of them knew what they was talking about. Nowadays, who's feeding this dude ideas? All these dudes is gonna do is agree with everything he says. And if he even a remotely decent idea comes across his desk, he may just crumple it up and throw it in the garbage.
On the TV 14 stuff, my take on it is, let's just assume, I'm going to go under the assumption that this is true and that they will go TV 14 later this year. I don't want to be that guy. The rating has never been the problem. When wrestling was at its hottest, it was PG. You know,
right.
WCW and the NWO was PG. NXT, Black and Gold, in the mid 2010s, when it was hot, 2016, 2017, 2018, that was PG.
Yes.
So you can have a compelling product when it's PG. The problem is not the rating. The problem is the booking. So even if WWE becomes TV 14, if the booking and if the creative is still shit, then it's still going to be bad. Nitro 2000 was not PG, and it was not good at all. So, and my other take on this TV 14 stuff, this is just my opinion. I think this whole thing is a smokescreen. I think that if this is true and they do change to TV 14, I think it's a smokescreen, and it's just Vince trying to get people to focus on something else and not whatever this story is of his personal life.
Right.
Because the more days go by, right, more people are talking. As a matter of fact, I just saw an article about 2 hours ago that said that HBO is considering doing a hit piece on Vince, just like they did Michael Jackson and Tiger. And what's the other guy?
Given the fact of the scandal.
Yeah. So I think Vince is thinking. Right. I think Vince is thinking, what can I do to get people to talk about something else other than this? Like, did you see what they did to Titus? They had Titus of all the people, of all the superstars that have out there.
I thought he was going to retire. I thought he was going to retire. Like, you know what? I'm tired of O'Neal. I've been a bum for a long time, and that's it. I'm hanging it up. And talking about, he might as well said, was it now, then, forever together? That bullshit campaign. Now he wants everybody to come together and help him. After you've been fucking us with no move for the past 15 years. Get the fuck out of here, man.
I can respect Titus for the simple fact that he does the cancer awareness. I'm cool with that. So I ain't got nothing wrong to say about Titus. Right. Titus can't wrestle. Titus can't wrestle worth a damn. So let him keep doing what he's doing and let him have his 5 minutes of fame. Now, if he's trying to promote this like he's about to go on a Titus tour for the WWE title, then I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, look, fuck that. Might as well.
But let him have his time.
The fucking title. Now that's one thing I don't care, because what's Roman doing with the titles? He's not doing shit with them. They should just sitting there collecting dust. And I'm fucking Roman Reigns. But let's really be real. Anybody's better off with one of them belts right now. At least one of them. And then you got this dude fighting Brock again. Like,
they want to save it for Cody, but Cody got 8 more months to go.
Oh, he's gonna show up in the Royal Rumble.
I think this is the weakest era for titles in WWE's history. None of them,
because there's too many damn titles.
Well, even if there weren't, they don't mean anything. Champions lose all the time. It's not a big deal. And then your main champions never show up. It doesn't mean anything. Like the Intercontinental title. We talked about this before a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you know this or not, Scott. The last time the Intercontinental title was defended on pay-per-view was WrestleMania last year. Big E versus Apollo last year. COVID Mania last year. It's been over 19 months, and that title has not made a single appearance on pay-per-view. You have a tag team division, like 3 teams. You have like Pardon?
I said, remember Nakamura? He held that hostage also.
Yeah, right. The tag team division's got like 3 teams at most. It's got like the Usos, the Street Profits. You had RK Bro. You had the Viking Raiders. No one cares about them. Los Lotharios, like it's a shit tag division. No one cares about that. The women's division is just not deep enough to have 2 titles. This is just like the weakest title era WWE's ever had. Like I can't tell you the last time a champion was there that I actually gave a shit about. I think for me it was Kofi when he beat Daniel Bryan. Like that felt like a big deal. It felt impactful. And then Brock just fucking killed him in like 8 seconds. So it's like fuck.
I mean, let's be serious. That's Brock versus Kofi. They didn't have to do 8 seconds. They could have did like 5 minutes. But damn, I don't know that.
Yeah, this dude didn't put up no fight at all.
They also did that because Fox wanted him to have a title because they had to have like I said, the moment they started catering to these networks, that's when WWE went downhill. If they would see when they were just with the low budget TNN and USA channel kind of restrict them, but TNN, that's when they was able to do whatever they want. Now, this damn cancel culture, anything you do is gonna hurt someone's feelings unless you do something that's homosexual. They'll get on that, but anything else, they're gonna cancel the culture.
Yeah.
What examples do you have of that style? Like when it comes to wrestling getting away with gay activities?
I think that is a ploy by a hidden agenda. And
do you have any examples?
What examples? Let's see.
Well, you talking about how the being serious here, no sarcasm. Are you guys talking about how the LGBT community is infiltrating the media? Because that is happening. That is a thing.
Yeah, that's one thing. And the thing is,
because that's what
nobody
was saying
can
that
say anything.
Everything else, he was basically saying that everything else people will be outraged over, but when it comes to gay activity, it gets swept under the rug.
It's just a matter of time before it gets pro wrestling because it's all over. And I don't want to change the topic too severely, but it's all over comic book movies. Like it's everywhere now.
Yeah.
There's a gay character.
Like John Kent. Like John Kent. He's bisexual. John Kent is on Superman's
problem.
son.
I never had a problem with someone saying that they're gay or lesbian. Matter of fact, one of my favorite wrestlers was Darren Young.
Mm-hmm.
That was your friend. Wait. Hold up.
Yeah, with him and Titus O'Neil, Darren Young could work. He was one of my favorites.
You wanted to come at John Moxley, but Darren Young is your favorite wrestler?
Darren Young could wrestle. Let me get to my point. He never got a push.
That's a topic right there, but go ahead.
He never got a push because the moment he came out gay, I think Vince McMahon panicked because Vince McMahon is an old man. He's 74 years old. That ain't his era. You could probably do something with him. But the thing is, he still conducted himself like a man.
Agreed.
I can't say the same about some other wrestlers. Like when I'm watching wrestling, the last thing I want to see, and I felt the same way with the stink face with Rikishi. I thought that was out of line. I did not want to see that.
that was worked, right?
I don't give a damn. I do not want to see a fat man in a thong.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
I would have had problems with that.
Shit too. I just said that same shit
like,
too. Like, yo, come
just
on,
like there's a certain move. There's a certain move that Sonny Kiss do that I'm not cool with.
And the fuck?
There's a move that Sonny Kiss do that I'm not cool with. You're not about to have me in a turnbuckle and you're throwing your legs into your ass cheeks. I'm gonna forget it's wrestling, and it's gonna be a shoot.
Okay, but this is a serious question now though, because not being funny. Naomi does the same spot, and no one has a problem with that. So
You got a point. You got a point.
because she
When
did,
you talk about when
she
she
really
jumps,
because she has a
They
spot.
both got that same move when they wrap their legs around your neck and basically pull your face into their backside.
Yeah.
no, I think that's out of line. I thought you were talking about the rear end. I think the rear end is a funny, worthless move, but it's effective because she got a fat ass. But throwing your ass,
I think Sonny Kiss does that move also.
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm sorry, if I'm working a wrestling move and we're going over the match and you're gonna tell me that you're gonna take your legs and I'm gonna hit your butt cheeks, we're gonna be swinging. I'm gonna get fined and I'm gonna get fired.
WWE is not there yet. Of all the mainstream companies, really, there's only two. It's just WWE and AEW. If you're ever going to have an openly gay champion someday, or bisexual or whatever, you're definitely going to get that in AEW before you get in WWE. And when you mention that, Scotty,
in WWE because look, the baddest wrestler is not even on TV. What's her name?
Shayna Baszler. It'll happen, but it's not going to be for a very, very long time. And I looked up this guy. I know he got in trouble a couple of months ago. You guys may remember him. His name was Jake Atlas. I know he had some abuse charges thrown against him. Well, firstly, he got hurt. He got released he requested his release from WWE first of all. Then he said he was going to retire for mental health reasons. Then he came out of retirement, was working the indies. He made a one-off appearance in AEW, had a match against Adam Cole. Adam Cole beat him, but he got hurt in the match. After he got hurt, TK signed him, and the idea was that after he rehabbed his injury, he was going to come back. Then a couple of months ago, he had a domestic charge battery in Florida, and I believe he was in a relationship with a wrestler from NXT 2.0. I'm not familiar with the wrestler, and apparently this wrestler that he was in a relationship with was not openly gay. So the battery charges basically outed his partner. So I'm not going to discuss that, but what I want to discuss is I want to discuss. Yeah, this all happened. What I want to discuss is what Scotty
dream too.
What Scotty reminded me of is that Scotty reminded me of Jake Atlas because in NXT, this was during COVID. I don't know if you remember this, Sandman. They did a tournament to determine an intern cruiserweight champion, and they were having like brackets and stuff, and they did this video package of Jake Atlas, and he was like in a park, and he was working out, like doing yoga and like exercising, and there was like a voiceover, and it said that he wants to prove doubters wrong and defy stereotypes. And when I watched that, I was like, huh, okay, what stereotype is he trying to, prove wrong? And he didn't say. So he had his match and he was good. And the commentary team, they kept putting over how brave Jake Atlas is and how he was defying stereotypes. And again, like, I don't know this dude. I've never seen him before. So I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, what stereotype is this? Like, because from what I could see, he just looks like a regular guy. Like, he didn't seem anything like, I'm like, what, is he handicapped?
Yeah,
I don't speak. Right. So I don't know him. So the show ends and I go on Twitter, which is what I normally do after a show was over, whether it's Dynamite, Raw, SmackDown, Impact, or whatever. And I see that Tony Atlas is I said Tony Atlas, Jake Atlas. Jake Atlas is trending. So I click on Jake Atlas, and when I click on his profile, I see that he has the pride flag on his cover photo. And I'm like, oh, and I put it together, and I'm like, oh, I see. So then I look him up on Wikipedia. Turns out he's openly gay. He's always been openly gay. So I'm like, wait a minute. So then I went back and I watched the promo or the vignette on NXT, which was on YouTube. And I was like, wait a minute. So WWE basically said he was gay without actually saying he was gay. Like, that's so fucking stupid. Now, this was 2020, and this was like during the like the peak of like the Black Lives Matter shit, the riots and all that.
Right.
Like, so it was all over the news. So I was just like, bro, so you can have Keith Lee coming out wearing because you remember Keith Lee had the Black Lives Matter jacket. Remember that? He had that on the jacket in your house. So it's like,
yeah,
so
that
you
was,
can,
that was tough, yeah.
yeah. So it's like, so you can represent Black Lives Matters, but
Black Lives Matter can go to hell after I found out that the money that they take is not even going to the victims.
Before you get into that, hold on, let Toe finish. Before you get into that.
I was just gonna say, I just thought it was fucking strange that it was like, so wait, you're gonna rep Black Lives Matter merch, but you're not gonna say on live television, hey, this guy's gay. They basically said he was gay without saying he was gay. So it got me curious, and I was like, well, how open is WWE with, like, you know, the LGBT community? And like Scotty said, they're really not. What WWE does is, like, they get their foot wet, but they don't want to get all the way in.
Right.
You guys might remember a best example of this was, what was this? WrestleMania 34. It was the opening match, triple threat. It was Seth Rollins versus The Miz versus Finn Balor. And fans were excited because this was Finn Balor's first WrestleMania. So
and
people were like,
"Oh,
we're going to see the
jacket."
Right. He had the right, and his shirt said "Balor Club is for everyone." And it was very clear who they were catering to without actually saying who they were catering to. And then Sonia Deville, before, you know, the crazy psycho broke in her house, before she was doing the suit character, she had like a pride flag like on her pants, but like the camera would like barely focus it. Yeah, Shayna Baszler is also openly gay, but again, like no marketing, nothing. So it's definitely something.
I think that's why she's getting buried, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think that's why Shayna Baszler's getting buried, because it's well known that you know, she's gay.
And she's a Triple H prodigy.
Yeah, and she's old. She's like 40, 41 too. So
I'm so tired.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised she still has a job. Not that I want anyone to get fired.
Because look at what happened with Chris Kanyon when they got out. It didn't get out, but it got out behind the scenes, like backstage, that you know, Chris Kanyon was gay. Look how they started treating him.
Now, I've heard stories. I can't confirm it. I've heard there have been stories out there that Ricky Starks is bisexual. I know that
he looks like.
You think Velveteen Dream's gay?
Well,
I thought he was. Because the guy the teenager that he was talking to was a 16-year-old boy. It wasn't a woman; it was a boy. I always assumed he was gay.
And putting that to the side, remember, it was a time when Velveteen Dream. Whatever. I'm nice right now. But anyways, it was a time where he would be cutting his promos on the stage, and it would be a dude and a chick right beside him.
Yeah.
And he'd be laid up with the dude and the chick. So they was definitely trying to subliminally get across that.
Yeah, it was very subtle. Very subtle.
Hey, that was my dude.
Hell yeah, Velveteen Dream was that dude, man. He fucked up big time, though. He definitely would have. He would have definitely been heavyweight champion by now, at least twice.
Yeah, he fucked it.
Like,
and I hate to say this too, but he definitely for any fans out there who are hoping for more gay representation, like he held that train back like another 10 years, because it was definitely going to be him. He was going to be NXT champion, Royal Rumble winner, WrestleMania man. It was definitely going to be him.
Just imagine, what if they would have customized the belt and everything, like make the belt purple or something? That would have been fire.
As far as I know,
I'm really disappointed in Velveteen.
He was like Prince. Like nobody never thought of doing Prince as a wrestler gimmick. Has any wrestler tried the Prince gimmick?
Prince Ikea.
When? Yeah, Tab Cab. Yeah. Oh God,
he was so trash. I can't stand him. Is he part of that Samoan family or he was just trash?
I actually don't know. I'm gonna
he's
look
one of
that
those
up.
step
That's
kids.
a good question.
Him and Tony Siaki, they like the step cousins.
He was as bad as Glacier. I'm sorry. If anybody likes Glacier, go to hell.
As far as I know, I heard Ricky Starks is bisexual. I know Anthony Bowen from The Acclaim is gay. There's always been rumors about Kenny.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I bugged
when Kenny Omega had a little thing with the number one New Japan wrestler, but he's considered bi. Man, look here. There's no such thing as for a man. I'm sorry. Once you go with another man, I'm kind of gay.
So some people just like that. You know what they say? I heard one person said that they call it, I just love people. I'm not straight, I'm not gay, I just love people. That's what they say. That's what they say. That's what I heard.
Where I get lost is when people start like these fucking Gen Zs are like they're not even identifying like as heterosexual or homosexual. When they
don't even know why they do what they do. That's
non-binary.
Yeah. When I hear like binary and like gender fluid, I'm like, bro, it's like I'm in fucking chemistry class in high school all over again. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
It's like, man, look, do you suck cock or not? The fuck out of here. Anyways, let me get up out of here, man. I've been here for an hour now.
You always leave us.
Go ahead, Scott. What you gonna say before I wrap it up?
I'm just saying that you always leave us.
Well, I've been.
You need to put a time limit, like you need to say, like 5 minutes.
I normally go hour and a half. I always go hour and a half.
Before we go, Sam, man, did you give your take on Ric Flair's last match? What you think about that? Did you see the clip of him getting beat up? By
Jarrett I was talking about it. I was actually talking about it at the beginning of the show. I was basically saying that I can't sit there and say I'm not interested or what happens because it's crazy that this dude is still taking down beat downs in the parking lot and stuff like that.
So he wasn't dead.
Huh?
So he didn't die.
No. He's still alive. He's still kicking. He's still moving. Yeah, and I was like, man, like this dude, it's just crazy. Like this dude's still blading, still trying to get in the ring, and it took some of the, I guess you could say, the old boy off because now it's a tag team match. It's not just him in a singles match. You got him and Andrade Idolo against Jeff Jarrett and this guy here, Jay Lethal. So, it should be, you already know Idolo and Lethal, they definitely going to put on a show. And, I'm very interested to see what's going to happen. I ain't going to lie. What's your thoughts on it?
The card, I saw the card. It actually looks pretty decent.
Well, who's on the card?
Let me pull up the whole thing. It's actually a nice crossover.
While you look for it, let Scott give his take on it real quick. So
I just don't want to see him on TV, and I hear news Ric Flair has died of a heart attack because Andrade got to explain that to his wife.
Well, I doubt that's going to happen, mainly because it's going to be a tag team match now. If it was just going to be a match with just him, and I'm like, yo, this dude probably can't even whip off the ropes. As a matter of fact, he can whip off the ropes. Like, believe it or not, Flair's actually, for a man his age, he's still in great shape for a man his age.
Okay, here's the card. It's actually a nice hybrid of wrestlers from different promotions. So
your MLW is going to be in the house. I love MLW.
Yes.
I really do.
So regardless of what company you watch, there's something for everybody. So here are all the matches in order. Bully Ray against To Be Announced, and there's going to be a battle royal. Okay, there'll be a battle royal. Bully Ray's the only person announced to be in it.
Nice.
Clark Connors versus Ren Narita. Those are Young Lions from New Japan. Killer Cross versus Davey Boy Smith. So that's some MLW. Devon Eriks versus the Briscoes. So that's Ring of Honor, NWA.
Okay.
You got the American Wolves reuniting for one night against the Motor City Machine Guns. You got the Rock and Roll Express versus the Four Horsemen. That's Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson. Anderson's going to be with them. The Rock and Roll Express is going to be Ricky Morton with his son, Kerry Morton. So that's kind of like past meets future.
Yeah.
You got Ray Phoenix versus Taurus versus Laredo Kid versus Bandino. So if you're into the whole lucha stuff, you got Jordan Grace versus Diana Purrazzo versus Rachel Airing in a three-way for the Knockouts Championship. Josh Alexander versus Jacob Fatu for the Impact title. I'm a big Fatu guy. I love Fatu.
Jacob, that's my guy. Hell yeah.
And then the main event is Flair Andrade against Jarrett and Lethal. So you got
that's a fucking card right there.
Yeah, so you got NWA, Impact, Ring of Honor, MLW, AEW. And you know what's crazy is that Jeff Jarrett is actually an executive producer in WWE now. So technically, WWE is part of this too. So you got a WWE executive teaming up with an AEW talent against another AEW talent and Ric Flair. So this actually looks like it's a pretty good card, honestly. It looks pretty good. So,
as long as it's not American males, I'm good.
I'm not here with American males. Those are my dudes. American males, American males. Yo, that's the best lyrics ever wrote in the wrestling song.
We all have like those gimmicks we see for the first time, and we're like, yeah, that's gay. That was me when I saw American males.
Shit. But anyways,
yeah, we all thought Johnny B. Bad was gay for a second.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. First, until I figured out who Little Richard was, and I'm like, okay, he's trying to do that. Okay, cool. But at first, I'm like, yo, why this dude is, with those mannerisms and lipstick and stuff? What's going on over here? Shit, man, that's crazy though. What happened with him, with his career? Like,
you talking about Mero?
Yeah.
Y'all know
Mark Mero was my dude.
But before we go, y'all know the story about Sable.
Yeah.
Vince, right?
Goddamn, with Vince McMahon. She got dirty with Vince.
Story time with Toph.
All right, so those don't know. Vince just always had like an obsession with Johnny B. Bad, which is suspect, but maybe that shows that the jungle fever goes further than we realize, which is another story entirely. Anyway.
Wait. What? Vince going after Johnny B. Bad?
Yes, Vince was obsessed with Johnny B. Bad. Many people over the years have said that Vince hated WCW. He never watched WCW at all. But the one wrestler he did watch was Johnny B. Bad, religiously. Several wrestlers have said this. Austin said it. Brett said it. Who else said it? Waltman, 1-2-3 Kid. He just had a thing.
Damn.
He had a thing for Johnny B. Bad, which is really weird. So when they got Johnny, he was really excited. So when he called Johnny, he was like, yo, come to Stanford, we'll sign this contract, whatever. And then Johnny was like, well, can I bring my wife with me? And Vince was kind of like, why? And he's like, well, I bring my wife with very important, contract signing. And Vince was like, well, it's not really a thing for a talent to bring their wife, but there's no rule that says you can't. So go ahead. So he gave Johnny 2 tickets, one for Johnny and one for Sable, who Vince had not met yet. So Johnny flew to Stanford. And then when they went to WWE HQ, they, went in Vince's room. And as soon as Vince saw Sable, he was like, yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
So and ever since then,
it
was over. And it was over. And that was basically how it started. And Vince was just absolutely obsessed with Sable. And if the stories are to be believed, I
wonder when Brock Lesnar is in the living room or in the bedroom with his wife. I wonder if he says, hey, this was before I met you, but You fuck Vince McMahon? How would that be?
Yeah.
Wow.
And remember, Vince McMahon still had the look. He was still young and he was hitting the gym, and
Yep.
he probably was stroking, and Linda wasn't hitting it like it used to. So yeah.
And that's when Vince's obsession with blondes started. It all goes back to Sable. I mean, because it was Sable and then Sunny and Trish Stratus, Stacy Keibler, and I mean, listen, like there's been a lot of girls that have been pushed in WWE, but like if you had a chart where if you just had like brunettes, redheads, like minorities, like Asians, blacks, like the majority of females pushed have been blonde. White,
Yeah, he
blonde.
hates
That's his type.
Asians. What's the deal with that? Like, he just can't stand Asian women. It's like a track record with him and Asian women. But go ahead.
But that's basically how it started, really. And I remember, one of the saddest stories. This not that many stories get me emotional because I'm such a heartless bastard, but this one does make me sad. I found out this story recently. I think they mentioned it on Dark Side of the Ring. I'm pretty sure they did. When they did the WrestleMania, when they did the WrestleMania match, it was who was it? It was who was in the match? It was I know who it was. It was Goldust and Luna Fashawn against Mero and Sable at WrestleMania 14, and this was the big test for Sable because it was like her first match ever, and they gave Luna Fashawn like marching orders, like this isn't about you. This is about Sable. She's our star. If you hurt her, like you're fucked and you're fired. Whatever.
I heard about that too.
Yeah. So they went out there and they had a good match. WrestleMania 14 is a good show, by the way. Very underrated show. So they went out there. They had a good match. And Luna and Goldust, they made Sable like $1 million. Mark Mero was a complete afterthought. They all went back through the gorilla, and they got a standing ovation. And what basically happened was no one walked up to Luna and said, good job.
Nope.
Great match. The only person that did was
Owen Hart.
Just
I remember him. Yep.
Yeah.
Owen.
So when I heard that actually made me.
We miss you, Owen. We definitely miss you.
Yeah. Owen would have been the WWF champion.
Yep.
Damn, I missed that.
And he would have been. And Triple H would not be the game. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, man. Owen was like, the
game gimmick was gonna go to Owen Hart because Owen Hart was frustrated and he was about to leave, and that was gonna be Vince McMahon's pitch to keep him.
Nah, Vince definitely wasn't gonna let go of Owen.
It was gonna be a major. At one point, Owen was about to walk away. But he's like, look, I'll stick with WWE because the security, I will make more money with here. And you notice he was on a light schedule, but they was going to put the strap on him.
No, they wasn't.
Why they did. They was.
No, they wasn't. Vince never seen Owen as a champion. And I don't know why.
No. Actually, Vince wanted to put the belt on Owen. Owen turned it down because he did not want to be away from his kids. That was it.
I could see that.
I never heard that one.
I just think the sad part about Owen, and it's not just him. This goes for like a lot of guys from those years, like Mr. Perfect, Ravishing Rick Rude, Davey Boy, and guys like that. A lot of younger fans, they look at the resume of like an Owen or Mr. Perfect or Razor Ramon, and they say like, oh, well, they were only Intercontinental Champion. They weren't that good. And like some of these younger fans need to understand, like winning the Intercontinental title was like a big fucking deal back then.
Yeah,
like back then it was only 3 belts. Right. It was back then to me, it was the Intercontinental Heavyweight title. I love that name. I love how Macho Man called it the Intercontinental Heavyweight
Champion. He might as well say incorporated too. The Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion incorporated from WWE.
It was a big deal being Intercontinental Champion because back then.
And that's what I was trying to allude to. I had to cut you over real quick because this was one of my from before you guys had came on the panel, right? I was saying like basically the heavyweight title is gonna look like shit if the mid-card champion looks like shit. or the mid-card belt would look like shit because, you know what I mean, that's your stepping stone. And how you gonna look like a dominant champion if you was a bum as a mid-card champion? It's not gonna fucking work.
Right. Yeah, you got a point there.
So let's see what they'll do with Gunther. Owen never wanted the title because he wanted to be with his kids, and he didn't want to do wrestling.
That do sound logical, but I never heard that scenario.
It probably did. You know, I've heard that
once you get the title, you gotta go on guest appearances. You gotta go on the road.
I've heard for that Kane was offered the title numerous times, but he turned it down for similar reasons. And he definitely should have been more than how many times it came with he's just a 2-time champ. He won the WWF title once.
That second title reign, a lot of people slept on that second title reign. That second title reign was really good. That was one of my favorite title reigns ever. When Kane and Paul Bearer came back, that was pretty cool.
He could have at least been like a 5-time champ, but he was only 2 because he would always turn it down. So
yeah, because it was John Cena's time.
No, around that time, was it Cena? Around that time? No, I don't think so. Was it?
Yeah. Cena came in 2002, and Vince and Kane was on fire. Like, remember?
Yeah, because Kane was on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
Kane was on SmackDown. He was a champion on SmackDown.
I thought Kane should have been champ, and when they took the mask off and he was a monster with the black towel, like he was the most show.
I'll never get tired of talking about Kane with the black towel over his head and the handcuffs and the cops surrounding him walking down the ramp. That's like the best Kane ever, hands down.
Yeah, unfortunately, bad timing was they didn't want to take the shine away from that wrestler. No, not Triple H, the wrestler.
Yeah, Triple H, definitely Triple H.
Not Triple H. The wrestler that nobody's name will be mentioned, name won't be mentioned ever again.
No, it was Triple H. It was definitely Triple H. Around that time when Kane was doing that was around the time of the Reign of Terror. Everything involved Triple H. Like, he had hands in everything.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't have hands in that storyline, your storyline will eventually get intertwined with his, and you're done.
See, the difference between the difference between the Reign of Terror and the Bloodline is that, like Sandman said, Triple H had his hands in everything, and don't get me wrong, like I wouldn't want to go back to those years, but I will give this about the Reign of Terror: there were other acts getting over. Hurricane got over, Kane got over, Christian got over, Booker T got over, Goldberg got over, Orton got over, Batista got over. There were other acts getting over.
Right.
So this bloodline shit with Roman, nobody's getting over.
Yeah, because you can't touch the Noah family. They gotta look like gold no matter what. Too bad.
Hold on. Can we really say that? All right, for instance, right? I know the Street Profits been over, but don't you think they helped get them over also, the Usos?
No, not really.
No, what I mean is
they did have the best match of their whole career.
What I mean is that no new stars are getting over under this bloodline era because they always go over, and everybody they face they beat, and then after they beat them, it's not like there's a rematch. Like whoever Roman beats or whoever Usos beat, they just move on. Like Roman had a good match with Cesaro. Okay, let's see more. Nope, that was it. Roman just moved on. Or his matches with Kevin Owens, good matches, moved on. Daniel Bryan moved on. Edge moved on.
If Riddle didn't disrespect Roman Reigns, they probably would still be wrestling. You ain't gonna believe what Riddle said. Riddle said Roman Reigns is not the best wrestler. He doesn't move the needle. As a matter of fact, I could whip his ass in a real fight and in a wrestling match. And Roman said, I won't work with him no more.
Well, that's unfortunate because their match on SmackDown was really good.
Yeah,
they had to do it, but Roman said he would never work with Riddle again. He hates Riddle got a lot of enemies. That's why I actually like Riddle, because Riddle has no filter.
Riddle, he don't hold his tongue. Riddle says what it is. He
Riddle,
straight up.
Riddle's no different than like I hate it when people like listen, and I'm not defending this guy either because he's no one cares about him anymore. But I was a big fan of his work. I hate it when fans attack someone like Matt Riddle or they attack someone like Austin Aries for saying, oh, they have a bad attitude. Listen, guys like Riddle and Aries, their attitude is no worse than guys like Orton in their prime or guys like Shawn Michaels in their prime. The difference is some people have an ally backstage, and if you have an ally, they look out for you. If you don't have an ally, then you're kind of fucked.
Orton didn't have a bad attitude. He was childish. The only person that he really shitted on was Kofi because Kofi botched. And he was pissed off about that. And Kennedy, because Kennedy almost broke his damn neck. But Riddle has no chill. He don't give a damn what comes out of his mouth. Roman Reigns he feels like he's the anointed one. He's part of the Noah family, so you can't talk bad about him. So yeah, we'll never see Riddle and Reigns ever again. I don't think that they will let Austin Theory cast that briefcase clean on him. I think it's going to be a double count out. They're going to be passed out. WWE is going to panic and they're going to make Theory pin Brock Lesnar.
Man, look, what I think they should do with Theory, and I'm gonna end it with this. What they should do with Theory is, don't have him cash in this year. It's simple. And have him win matches for Christ's sake. Just because he's the fucking Money in the Bank winner doesn't mean he has to lose every single match. And I'm not saying he has to win every single match, but make him a competitor.
And get rid of that stupid music that he has.
Oh, God, exactly. The name of his finisher is called what? A-Town Down or whatever.
Oh my God!
Like, give him some Atlanta type shit. You know what I mean? Have a producer from Atlanta. I don't know, Jermaine Dupri. I don't know. Make him a beat or something. Y'all got the money for it.
I turned my TV on Raw the other day. I saw him facing. Man, I feel like I'm. Man, it sucks saying this, man. I turned my TV on Raw. I saw Austin Theory have a match with AJ Styles. 2 minutes in, arm drag, arm bar, headlock, another arm drag, headlock. I'm like,
that's this dude. Everything gotta be safe. Everything is just safe.
I've never seen.
Drain the time. Be safe.
That's why
people appreciate AEW.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. That's why people. Hold on. That's why people appreciate AEW because with AEW, you don't see that much rest spots and rest holds. These motherfuckers be wilding. They're like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna fucking spin kick you. Then when you get dazed, I'm gonna power bomb you. Then pick you up and catch you with a choke slam, all in one motion. You know what I'm saying?
That's because nobody teaches the wrestlers no more. They don't know when to slow down the match. So, Theory, I think he wrestles scared. Honestly, there's supposed to be.
I gotta say, it's a sad day when I see a boring AJ Styles match because AJ Styles, the AJ I grew up watching, could have like a 5-star match with a fucking broom. And
he is
getting old, though, my dude. Like
I know he's getting old, man. But all I gotta say to end it here, yeah, Theory's got to look, but Theory as he currently is, like this guy is not it. If dude cashes in and if he becomes champion, you're gonna get another Cena, and not in a good way. I don't mean like, oh wow, what a great heel. I'm talking like fans turning on the product type of heat. This dude is not organic. He has not created a relationship with the WWE fan base. He's not over. He's not good in the ring. He's just not there. He's not there at all. And the comparisons to Cena are just so forced because Cena did have that generic look too until he found the Dr. Thugonomics character that connected. And then that's when you start seeing the push and it worked. This dude is like if Cena got the push as the prototype, that would not work. This guy is not it. He's not it.
And I'm sorry, Cena earned his first title reign. Theory ain't done nothing.
Yeah, definitely his first title reign. That was a real fun time. That really
Cena paid his dues the moment he did that parking lot brawl with Eddie Guerrero. Looked like $1 million. After that, it was the sky's the ceiling. He went mid-card, went with the U.S. title for a while. I didn't understand why they took it from him and gave it to
Orlando Jordan because they was getting them ready for the heavyweight title.
Yeah, they're getting ready for the
That's a good segue. Well, it's not a segue because we're getting ready to leave. But to your point earlier, Scotty, that's a good segue to your point earlier because they were trying to push OJ. I said, OJ.
OJ.
Yeah, they were going to push OJ. They wanted to because he was gay, but he wasn't like openly gay, but he was. And if you remember when he was doing his little brief run in TNA, like Dream, he had a man and a woman on the side too. Remember?
I ain't gonna lie, you can say I guess Velveteen Dream just bit off a little bit of that gimmick, but he went a little bit too gross with it. It was just Velveteen Dream was more classier with it. This dude was just disgusting. Like he was he would have the lotion and having it squirt all over his face. Like, what?
Got the lotion.
Come on,
watching
son.
Velveteen Dream start turning and swinging on the mat. I bust out laughing every time.
I think the most risky thing he did was the most risky thing he did was that segment with Aleister Black where he was talking and he got in doggy style position and went backwards. Everybody was like, "What the fuck?" That was great heat, though. It was great heat.
Is that when who was it? Nikki Trash was on the got in there.
Shouts go out to JD with his stinking ass.
Yeah.
With who?
I still remember, man. I still remember how Velveteen run out too, and we all have those moments too where we look at a match and like as we're watching it live, we're watching it and we're just like, this dude's done. I remember his last match was that parking lot brawl with Adam Cole, and it wasn't even like a build up, like I'm like a parking lot brawl, like that's different.
They were just
like
fighting
the
in the
visuals
studio.
look sick. The visuals look sick. How this dude had the Hollywood Hogan leather and he was dressed like Negan. That was a nice touch. Like when it comes to the visuals, and this dude Adam Cole came through with the big ass semi truck and all that. It was good for the visuals, but the shit just didn't make any sense, and the match was subpar.
Yeah, Cole just beat him. What? He just beat him, and after he beat him, I was like, "That's it." And then, after he beat Dream, there was no promo or follow up or nothing. It was like it never happened. Like when you watch a pay-per-view and then you watch the next show, it's like
you will see let's get a follow up. What's going on?
COVID also killed the NXT. It killed it. NXT wasn't the same after the fans left. So yeah, and I think they kept the belt on Adam Cole way too damn long. That's a mistake that Triple H made but if it wasn't for freaking Ciampa getting injured, it would have been Gargano versus Ciampa for the NXT title, and I don't even think Adam Cole would have been even part of it.
I wouldn't say that. Well, he probably lost connection. You get me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I'm about to shut it down. I'm about to hit the 2-minute mark. Yo, you guys are awesome. You already know the vibes. I don't know what happened with Nate, but maybe he was too busy. But anyways, another edition in the books. Thanks for pulling up. And here goes Scott right here.
Kept NXT way too long with Adam Cole.
You in mid sentence. Yo, you had dropped out.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, man. It's that New York internet.
It's all good. I'm about to wrap up this show though. You know what I'm saying? I gotta shut it down. Like I was saying, you guys are awesome for pulling up and all that, and you already know the vibes. I'm gonna let y'all know when I go live again. You said what?
Why was there only 3 of us?
Just a slow night, you know.
It happens.
I sent a message to. I haven't heard from Nate all day. I did hear from Malik. I guess he was busy. I don't know what John's up to. No clue what Snug's up to. Just one of those nights, you know.
It's all good. Yeah. Everybody knows I'll go live Tuesday and Fridays, you know. So, you know, when people's free, they free, and they pull up and say what's up. It's all good. Life happens. But anyways, like I said at the beginning of the show, my mixtape is about to come out ASAP. So be on the lookout for that. The Silverback of Rap 3, you can see it on my thumbnail. And the Human Hand Grenade video is out right now on this very channel. So make sure y'all check that out also.
You already know what's my favorite bar on that.
I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Because I'm hella hot. I told you the massacre would never stop to the chicken spot. You know what?
And seeing Rambo blow everything up. Yeah, fuck yeah.
My dudes. Y'all take it easy, and I'll see y'all on Friday, big. Y'all know the vibes.
All right, later.
Peace out, motherfucker.